Welcome in. I'm the Kodiak Broncos Podcast. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. We have no time to waste because this one's going to be a long one where I talk about Sai'vion Jones, our third round pick that we traded up for in the 2025 NFL Draft. So I just want to say a couple things. First of all, thank you all for all the support that you've given me on my channel over the past weekend or so. As crazy as it was for my YouTube channel, it was even crazier for my personal life at my restaurant, at my job. We had a bunch of people fired. We got a bunch of people that quit. So naturally, I had to step up. And, with the draft going on, with the Avs game last night, life has been crazy. But now it is time to talk about Sai'vion Jones. And I want to give a huge mile-high salute to all our first responders, our paramedics, our policemen, our firefighters out there, because Sai'vion Jones is a legit medical miracle. When he was 3 months old, he had to have a tube placed in his trachea to help a breathing disorder. And unfortunately, he pulled the tube out and was in a code blue situation in the New Orleans Children's Hospital where he was literally brought back to life. So he is a legit medical miracle. And thank you, New Orleans Children's Hospital, for saving our most recent draft pick. And thank you to all the first responders out there from Kodiak Broncos Podcast. Now back to the show. So, Sai'vion Jones, he was a four-star recruit from St. James High School in St. James, Louisiana. He was the number 32 recruit in the 2021 class, the number 10 edge in the 2021 class, and guess what? The number 6 recruit in Louisiana. And when I was watching this made me die laughing because this is the amount of talent that they're dealing with down there in Louisiana. So, number 4 in the 2021 recruiting class was Brian Thomas Jr., who's a wide receiver on Jacksonville, who absolutely crushed it this past year. And number 6 was Malik Neighbors, who was picked number 6 overall last year by the New York Giants. And once again, he absolutely dominated the NFL. And right in between them, you have Sai'vion Jones. So right in between wide receiver U and these ultra-cracked wide receiver recruits, you have our new draft pick, Sai'vion Jones. So that's not meaningful in any way. I just thought it was absolutely hilarious that the Louisiana recruiting class in 2021 was that stacked, and LSU was that stacked as well. And they still didn't win anything with all those guys there. But regardless, so Sai'vion Jones, big-bodied edge in college football. He was mainly used as a edge in college football, but he's most likely going to play on the interior defensive line for the Broncos. That being said, he does add size to the edge room if we decide to put him there in that regard. Like, we're not going to put him as a full-time edge or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. We wouldn't have drafted Quandarius Robinson if we were going to do that. But Sai'vion Jones is going to be a bigger presence in that edge room. And honestly, that's something that we were kind of lacking, We got run over against Baltimore. We got run over against Buffalo. So we got some size on the bookends now, which is great. He also improved every year at LSU, and he got a full-time starting position at edge in 2023. And he had a breakout year in his senior season with 43 pressures and 4.5 sacks as well. So, looking at his PFF draft profile, there's a lot to like about this. So, looking at this basically has everything you need to know about him. Statistically, how he measures and stuff like that. So, 5 sacks in 2024, 6 hits, 32 hurries, which was, I think that's 43 pressures in total, yeah. But yeah, 2 batted balls, 21 run stops, and this is mainly where he was deployed. So he was mainly deployed as an edge rusher for the LSU Tigers, but a lot of his best pass rushing snaps came from the B gap and the C gap as well, so that was a little interesting as well. I don't know why he graded out so bad there compared to the other positions, but regardless, so talking about Sai'vion Jones, 6'5", 280, good size, good size, and once again, can never go wrong with getting some beef on the defensive line. Looking at the player traits, what they really seem to like about him is his play strength, and I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Block shedding, that's another one that's really good. Same with versatility as well. They don't have him ranked very highly with his tackling or his hand technique, and I do want to illustrate that when we do go over our film. But talking about him, he's originally a 4-star recruit from Louisiana, chose to stay in his home state over offers from Ole Miss, A&M, and he became a full-time starter in 2023. 43 pressures, tied for 8th among all edge defenders. While he was primarily an edge, he's going to line up on the D-line, 6'5", 280. Pairs that size with a motor that never quits while having solid tools at that size. While Jones employs multiple pass rushing moves, hand usage still relatively undefined. He could also afford to be more physical in the run game as he gets washed out of plays far too often right now. Not sure I agree with that. I think that's more of an issue on his pass rushing reps, but we'll see. Now, some of his strengths can win from both a 2-point and 3-point stance. Yes. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Relentless motor, maximum effort on every play. Yeah, I guess. I saw a play or two where he took off, but oh well. adequate length with good power and bend as a pass rusher. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't think he has the bend to play edge like on pass rushing snaps in the NFL, but we'll get to that. Explosive first step at 280 pounds. Yeah, really good first step at 280 pounds. Weaknesses: needs to work on his hand usage. Has had tackling issues due to playing off balance. Not a very stout run defender. Routinely gets washed out of plays. Once again, didn't agree with that assessment on his run defense. I think that's more of an issue in the pass game. But let's get into some of the film because we've got a long one. We've got 17 minutes of film on Sai'vion Jones to break down right now. Before I begin, I just want to say that this was made possible by my good friends over there at Guru Film Room. Guru Film Room is an absolutely amazing resource for anybody, trying to get well-versed into scouting. Maybe you want to watch Jahdae Barron. Maybe you want to watch RJ Harvey. Maybe you want to watch Sai'vion Jones like I did. Maybe you want to watch Quandarius Robinson. And maybe you want to watch Jeremy Crawshaw. Who knows if you want to watch our punter. But either way, thank you to all my friends over there for making this very possible. Link will be in the description. Join me in the most extensive cut-up library for college film. All right, so with this one, sorry, I actually don't have an arrow for this Oklahoma game that you're going to be watching on the film. So just try to follow my mouse pad the best you can. But regardless, so this is really nice contain. This is a really nice job containing by number 35, Savon. And Jackson Arnold, I don't know why I said Terrion. Jackson Arnold, the Oklahoma quarterback, doesn't realize this until it's way too late. So you're going to see that this guy on the LSU defense and Sai'vion Jones do a really, really, really nice job rushing together. And they do a really, really nice job of collapsing the pocket together. Maybe Arnold has an escape route over here if he finds a way to get skinny, but this collapse is actually pretty quick. Yeah, really good stuff. He steps up way too late, and that was a sack created by Sai'vion Jones. So well done right there, LSU defensive line. Let's watch it one more time from the tight. Does a great job. Even though he gets around the tackle, and ideally Arnold does have an escape route up here, we still collapse the pocket really quick despite that. So well done, Sai'vion Jones. This was an absolutely awesome rep. That's kind of teamwork personified. So this is a rep that kind of symbolizes to me why I don't think Sai'vion Jones is going to be a full-time edge defender in the NFL. So I'm just going to play this best I can at, I'll try to frame by frame this best I can, but regardless, so just looking at my notes here, so he starts this, and he doesn't really have the best first jump either. Like, watch this. He doesn't really get a good get off on this ball. So what happens here? So he gets knocked off. Unfortunately, I would like the hand placement to be a little bit better here. Like, you're going to watch this. He's about to engage with the offensive lineman, and the hand placement just is not where I'd like it to be ultimately. I know his eyes are on this running back, but either way. So you're going to watch the hand placement. I would like this to go to actually the offensive lineman's rib right here. I think if he put it in the offensive lineman's rib right here, he would have a much better chance at winning the leverage battle. And unfortunately, he gets way too handsy. He gets way too locked into the fact that his hands are up here. And unfortunately, this offensive lineman's right arm is kind of acting like a natural barrier to his to Sai'vion Jones' left arm as well. But he can't recover either. Like, he tries to recover, but the balance just ultimately is not there on this rep. And unfortunately, I know that, part of his job may have been to contain right here, but he gets completely knocked off. So unfortunately, I don't think he has the hip flexibility or the speed to play full-time at edge. Like, could he rotate at edge here and there? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But this is kind of all the bad parts of this game put into one. Like, he just gets driven back. And yeah, once again, I think it all started with the fact that his hands were just up here, and he didn't give himself really an out to figuring out a way to get to the quarterback in this particular pass rushing rep, and now he's getting blown off the screen, and yeah, got completely washed out on that rep. But yeah, that's kind of all the bad parts in his game put into one, in my opinion. But the rest of the clips we have, I can promise you, are much, much more positive than we have right here. So right here, let's watch this get off one more time. I know that the clip kind of starts at a weird spot, but so yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to frame by frame this, but iMovie doesn't have like a playback speed timer like YouTube does. Okay, so I wish I could have shown you his get off right here, but the get off is really, really good, and he just smokes the left tackle. Like, this left tackle just gets absolutely obliterated by this. What's he gonna do? He literally just drove the dude back, so bull rush, and then he gets onto Jackson Arnold. Unfortunately, Jackson Arnold stays a little too strong. You need a stronger finish right here by Sai'vion Jones. Why did I say Williams? And he's still able to throw the ball and get an easy completion. Like, once again, I really, really would have liked a stronger finish there, because that's the difference between a sack and a 5-yard gain. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any easier for him once he gets to the NFL and has to play against Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. You get the picture. So once again, absolutely smokes the left tackle. You're in a perfect position. It's just not strong enough, man. It's just not strong enough. Credit to Arnold. He does a great job standing tall here, but he was still able to get like a wind up. And even with Sai'vion Jones bearing down on him. Woof. Woof, woof, woof. And then he's lined up right here, and this is actually really good ball tracking, and he does a great job of forcing this running back inside. So he's lined up between the left tackle and the tight end right here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. I have it in his football pants right there, if you cannot see that, but regardless. So once again, this is an example of where I think his ball tracking is really good. His ball tracking isn't bad. It's just a little inconsistent. So, yeah. So he's engaged with this tight end right here, and what he does is he reads the play perfectly. So he knows that there's a guy pulling over here. I think that's the center actually pulling over there, and he's kind of engaged with this tight end. This will be much easier to watch from the tight, by the way, but they're kind of engaged right here in the middle of the field, and what Jones does is he does a great job getting horizontal and forcing Sawchuk back to the inside, where he knows that he has this linebacker coming down, and he also has help from his other friends on the defensive line as well. So right here, completely engaged with the dude, and look what he does. Acts like he's going around him, and hey, this is not even though he doesn't like make the tackle, this is perfect. This is absolutely textbook stuff right there, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes to bring down Sawchuk. So, or actually, I don't even know if that's Sawchuk in the Oklahoma backfield, but regardless, that's about as textbook as it gets. So once again, you're going to watch it from right here. Right here is Sai'vion Jones. Engages, recognizes that the ball carrier is going to the outside, fights his way through the traffic, finds a way to get horizontal, finds a way to get this guy and make him take a bad angle. Yeah, that's really good stuff right there. So we're going to go back to this clip, and let me check my notes real quick to see which one this one is. Oh, yes. So he does a really, really good job racing for contact here against the puller. I know that this is a pulling tight end, or it's tight end lead, but so what he does is he just literally stands like an anchor, and his lower body is very, very strong. And that's one of my favorite parts about this game. His lower body, he holds very, very strong right here. Boom. Is not phased, and still is able to make the tackle right here. And once again, that's just really, really textbook stuff. Like, you can't teach it any better than that, to be completely honest, because, he had all the reasons in the world to get blown up by this dude who's coming around full speed, but such a good job right here. I love it. Love it. Dude tries to go into the waist, just completely bounces off him, fights his way through the traffic, and makes the tackle right there as well. This is just one where he does a really, really good job fighting through the line of scrimmage. He's up here, lined up in between the right tackle and the tight end. So there's supposed to be like a double team on him. I think the right tackle's assignment is to, give him the tight end some help and then eventually make his way to the second level. But what ends up happening is that Jones just does a great job fighting his way through here. Like, the line is kind of cluttered, but hey, I don't know if you can see this, but Jones has a clear path to the ball carrier right there and does a really nice job at getting to him and make sure that he can't rip it off for a big play. Once again, let's watch this. Jones right here, number 35. Hit by two guys, and he's still able to fight his way through that and doesn't get flustered, doesn't get panicked, doesn't get knocked back, and is able to get the swarm tackle as well. So this is actually F lead option. The reason I know that is because this is, what's it called? This is a play I run pretty much all the time in my NCAA franchise with Maryland and Arizona, because if you have a cracked quarterback, this is an absolutely awesome play, especially if you convert an offensive lineman to a fullback. I'm just kind of going on a tangent there. But regardless, so he's actually lined up. You can't see him right here. He's lined up in front of number 42. So here's the rep. I've word vomited enough. You're going to watch this guy. F lead right here from the H-back. And once again, just watch Jones right here. So he initially has a pretty nice get off. Especially he does a really nice job at potentially containing himself. Unfortunately, he gets a little too inside. He gets caught a little too inside. And he's left at a bad angle right here. Like, this is not a good angle because Jackson Arnold's going the other way and Sai'vion Jones is going inside. And yeah, once again, his ball tracking, it just needs improvement. It just needs improvement, and you're not going to see as much option at the NFL level. So it's, I think that's something that does get a little easier because you really don't have to worry about that because the NFL doesn't have the wide hashes. But regardless, this is something where he potentially could have had TFL, but unfortunately Jackson Arnold takes it for a decent chunk right there. This one's really, really good. So up here, you'll notice that there's a screen right there, and he kind of has to fight his way through some traffic as well. He has to fight through the line of scrimmage, and he still is able to get to the ball carrier up here, even rushing from the edge. So watch him. The left tackle has him currently engaged. The center's actually trying to help engage with him as well. But guess what? Sai'vion Jones doesn't care. Let's watch this in full speed. Boom, gets through. Textbook stuff right here as well. Let's watch that one more time. Engaged with the left tackle. Center's pulling. Doesn't care. All right. So this one is against Jalen Milroe, and this is just a complete miscommunication. Let me see if I can get that arrow to, let me see if I can frame by frame this. All right. Here's what I was looking for. So you'll see this arrow pointed right at Sai'vion Jones right here, and this is just a complete miscommunication from the Alabama offensive line. But you'll notice that there's a lot of negative things that Sai'vion Jones does right here, and this is why I think that you put him into a room with a lot of vets like Zach Gallen, you put him into a room with a lot of vets like DJ Jones, who else? John Franklin Myers, even though he is the John Franklin Myers replacement. We'll talk about that a little later. This is just something that needs to be worked out of his game because this is a huge, huge difference. You never know what a negative play can do for a team, especially at the college level where, big plays are more exacerbated, like sacks, TFLs, all that. But regardless, off my tangent right now. So this is one where, once again, complete miscommunication by the Alabama offensive line. Like, Sai'vion Jones just comes completely unblocked right here. Unfortunately, he has a clear path to taking down Jalen Milroe. But what happens here is that he kind of gets shaken out of his boots and, wrap up, get lower, take a better angle, do whatever you need to do because he just ends up completely whiffing right there. It doesn't end up being a harmful play in the grand scheme of things, but that's something that you would like to see kind of ironed out, especially at the NFL level. Missed tackles are a killer, man. Like, see, you just got to wrap up. You got to get lower. You got to take a better angle. You got to do all three of those things better right there. And you know what? With time and development, I think he will. Because I really like the upside of his game. Very tantalizing upside, I must say. So this is another one where he just does a great job. Great job bracing for contact against a puller. Number 77, you're going to see right here, is going to be running full speed into Sai'vion Jones. And then just does a great job because this guy, let's be honest, he doesn't have any route to getting outside, at least, unless he has absolute rocket speed. But with two linebackers completely bearing down on him, Sai'vion Jones knows that he has just got to contain right here, and he does a great job knocking the dude back, even though the other dude was running full speed. Once again, this dude is pretty strong. This dude's ridiculously strong, especially in the lower half of his body. But yeah, once again, does a really, really solid job. And once again, a lot of people are talking about his pass rush upside. I think his run defense is very, very underrated. I love what I've seen from him. Once again, better ball tracking, better finishing ability, and then he will be a good run defender in the NFL. Sai'vion Jones puts his shoulder into him, does a great job staying low, and is able to not lose any ground against that offensive lineman right there. Pretty sweet. While we're talking about angles, this is probably one of the worst reps I've seen in that regard. So he just absolutely smokes the tackle here. Unfortunately, you see him lined up against the right tackle right here. This should be, keyword, a complete, just nothing play for Alabama. This is one that should have been a TFL, a sack. It should have been disastrous. But Jalen Milroe, he's got these two guys both bearing down on him. And so when this guy goes as inside as he is, you got to be able to turn upfield. And even if you engage with the tackle just a little bit, at least get into a position to where you can react to Milroe, the ball carrier. Instead, what happens is that, yes, I know he has a hand on him, but he's a little slow. He's a little slow to turn and get a better angle on this and get a better angle on Milroe, because Milroe's already beginning his break and he's already going to go to the outside, to the right side of the field. And once again, Jones just gets a little caught up right there. Again, man, it's all about the angles. He has the IQ. He has the physical prowess. He just needs to be more refined and more consistent with that stuff. So, yeah. Let's watch this from the tight. Back to what I was saying. React quicker, better angle. That's it. That's just it. Either way, I showed you a lot of film there. I showed you the positives and negatives about his game. So, yeah, let's talk about him a little more. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was 17 minutes worth of film on Sai'vion Jones. So once again, as I reiterated in the study, I love his overall IQ. He's a very smart player who understands his responsibilities and his teammates' responsibilities on every single play. He knows when he has help from the inside. He knows when he has linebackers crashing down. He knows when the interior guys are winning just as much as he knows when he's winning as well. And the frame, once again, suggests scheme versatility, especially for the Denver Broncos. Vance Joseph, Jamar Cain, they are going to know how to get the best out of him. They're going to know how to use raw strength to his advantage as well, which is something that he has a lot of at this current point in time. Once again, wins early and often, really like his hand swipes, really like his club move, really like his swim move as well. And once again, really, really good burst. And he does need to take better angles, and he does need to have better ball tracking and get stronger in his finishing. But you get coached up by Vance Joseph, you get coached up by Sean Payton, you get coached up by Jamar Cain. I am more than confident that Sai'vion Jones will reach his potential here with the Denver Broncos, especially with all the other dudes brushing the passer that we have on our team as well, in an absolutely loaded defense. And once again, I don't see a guy who has enough lower body speed and flexibility to play edge, at least on pass rushing downs. And, consistency with the hands, that's a big thing that, the draft guide talked about, and we saw in the film study. But yeah, so why was Sai'vion Jones the pick there? Well, a lot of his best pass rushing snaps came as an interior defensive line. I did not have a lot of film, admittedly, where he was an interior defensive lineman rushing the passer, but LSU, they used him as an edge, and to be completely honest, I think they did that because they had a lot of beef in the middle, and they were relatively thin on the edge, but regardless, I digress. So we also did not have that nasty hand-in-the-dirt edge versus Baltimore and Buffalo. Benito, great. Cooper, great. Unfortunately, when it comes to these bigger, more physical offensive lines, they do tend to struggle a little bit, especially in the run game. They'll still get theirs in the pass game. I'm not concerned about that at all because they're so good at being, speedy and powerful and all that. But regardless, I do think that we needed to get tougher on the edge, at least, when we do have those tough games where teams are running us over. And once again, adding Hufanga, adding Greenlaw will also help that with that as well, because those guys are great tacklers at the second level. So, this was basically the only guy we added to our interior defensive line. Would I have liked to have seen Derek Harmon in the first? Yes, actually, he was my preferred pick, but I am more than fine with Sai'vion Jones because I think Jahdae Barron and Sai'vion Jones is better than Derek Harmon plus whatever cornerback was available in the third round. Much better having Barron and Sai'vion Jones be the pick. But last year, we gave Zach Allen 1,130 snaps. The only guy who beat that was Jalen Carter, who had 4 extra games to do that in the playoffs. So yeah, you just can't do that to Zach Allen again. He only missed 1 game last year. He was an absolute, I don't even know how to put it for us. He was an absolute workhorse. He was an absolute behemoth. He was a hog when it came to his snap share last year. So well done, Zach Allen. Thank you. Mile high salute. Hope we never do that to you again. Savon Williams, he needs to come in and lighten the workload. And this is your John Franklin Myers replacement. I'm pretty confident that John Franklin Myers is not going to get re-signed by the Denver Broncos, as much as it pains me to say, because, we just have a lot of resources that we need to spend elsewhere on this team. And it's completely fine. Like, our JFM is great. Our D-line doesn't revolve around him whatsoever. But another thing is that Jamar Cain worked with Jones while he was the LSU defensive line coach, and now they're reunited. I actually think that Jamar Cain was the guy who recruited him. And with a guy like Jamar Cain, who has done such a good job at building all these dudes up on the defensive line and making them take that next step, it's just absolutely phenomenal. This is a great fit, scheme-wise, team need, all that. And once again, none. I have no reservations about this pick whatsoever. This is the only pick where I feel 100% good about everything. Value, fit, need, that's absolutely incredible as well. So, does it make sense to draft for need based on limited interior defensive line sample? I mean, I don't know. But once again, we did need a bigger edge rusher. We did need a guy who could be stronger at the bookends, especially on run defense. So, even if he's just deployed as an edge defender on obvious rushing downs and, as an interior defensive lineman on obvious pass rushing downs, I think that's ideal. I don't want this to turn into a DeMarcus Walker situation, though, where we try to make him do something that he's not going to, because, that just completely ruins a guy's development. But I think our coaching staff has learned from those mistakes. We're not just going to take a guy and make him do, what he can't do, because, Sean Payton, when he's at the helm of the building, that's something that we've really strayed away from, even though Drew Sanders got his position switched like 80 times. But I don't think that's going to happen to Sai'vion Jones. I really don't. But alas, he also has semi-limited production for 1 year of high-level play. But once again, we didn't take him with our first rounder. We didn't take him with our second rounder. So yeah, the potential is absolutely there for a guy like Sai'vion Jones. And once again, I feel great about everything. I feel great about team fit, value, where we drafted him. I thought we drafted him in the perfect spot. Team need, because he adds something that we didn't already have to our defensive line. So that basically does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.